Merry Christmas, Jared.
Merry Christmas, Josh.
Yeah. Hey.
Merry Christmas to Zelda.
That's right. For the audio listeners, I have a Legend of Zelda Christmas sweater on.
And I'm wearing a very festive turtleneck.
Yeah. It's all black.
Yeah.
So festive.
Yeah. I do have a black Christmas tree, so.
Sounds about right.
It does. I was happy they made one.
Yeah.
It's nice.
You can find anything on Amazon nowadays.
Very true.
So, tell me a little bit about what's some of your favorite Christmas music?
Oh. Like songs or...
How are you? What do you like to listen to driving around at Christmas time?
I mean, number one always is Frank Sinatra for me.
It's a good one. Yeah, I like that one.
And I always have a tradition of playing it a lot because I have the vinyl of it. One of his Christmas albums, but I think is his best. I play that a lot at home. Yeah. So I like a lot of old.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a whole lot of Christmas now. Yeah, what about you?
Vincent how you say his name?
Vince Guaraldi, yeah.
Guaraldi, yeah, from Charlie Brown.
Yes, which, I just saw live.
Yeah, which you got to see so many people. I watched it. I did that same thing last year with our brother.
Did, yeah.
You got to go this year. So,
shout out to Eric Bird, incredible piano player. But the whole jazz trio, I mean, the basses and drummer were amazing too. They were awesome. But it was my first time seeing them. But yeah, you saw them last year. Yeah.
But yeah, that always puts me in the mood for the holidays for Christmas. Yeah,
that is very high up there. You're right. The Vince Guaraldi, obviously, he's done a lot of albums, but yeah,
the Charlie Brown Christmas special, whatever you
specifically.
Yeah. What's your favorite Christmas cookie?
Oh, it's very, very simple. I'm a sugar cookie person. Just sugar cookie.
I'm with you on that, but it's got to be chewy.
Oh, definitely. Any cookie needs to be chewy.
I mean, I'm with you on that too, but there's people that like
crunchy. Come on,
that hard stale cookie. No one wants that.
No
one wants that.
No, very chewy all the way.
Yeah, but not so chewy that it's not cooked in the center.
Yeah, it's okay if it is.
Nah, it's all right. Yeah,
but I will say just regular. If it's a very good sugar cookie, those are underrated. I feel like some people overlook them just because it's like, oh, it's just that. It doesn't have anything extra added, but it doesn't need to if it's made right.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back to Screen Time TV, podcast that we discuss latest TV and streaming shows that we're watching and covering more in depth on some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Today we are discussing Severance episode 6 in depth, and then we'll do some based or waste.
Oh yeah,
and what we've been watching and some feedback. But first, Jared, this is inappropriate workplace commentary, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to self-report you.
The self-report, yeah. Classic Irv.
So that's my co-host, Jared, and I'm Josh.
Look at you, all dewy-mouthed, Josh. You are sparing with the facial encouragements.
Yeah.
That was a little mix-up of two. I had to...
Yeah, kind of mix them up.
Yeah.
But, cool. All right. Well, Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yeah. I only have one other one I want to say. Josh, to be clear, I do not approve of mapping.
To be clear.
That's Irv saying he doesn't approve of mapping the floor. Just the way he says things. It's just top tier.
Yeah. He's so matter of fact and so believes in.
But the way the words he uses and stuff, it's very intellectual, but also old school. I don't know.
Yes.
It's just a great combination.
Yeah, great writing. So a little feedback from Chandra Unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
First, never do kind eyes again. I think this is referring to
you. So.
Yes, I think this is referring to me doing kind eyes.
So if I do it, it'll be okay.
Maybe.
Or it might be more terrifying. We'll see.
I don't know how to do kind eyes, I guess.
You know what though? But that makes sense with Mark doing it in the show, because we were talking about, I think you look more similar to Adam Scott than me. So you look more like when he tries to do it in the show.
Right. Well, that was
like right into the camera.
I mean, in reality, that was what I was going for. So
exactly.
nailed it.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Was trying to be the creepy weird eyes that he does.
Yeah.
All right. Also, seems like she agrees with your theory about it being just some kind of experiment on all these people. Because of the comment where Milchek says he ran a 2.66 on Irv.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With the paintings.
Yep. Last week.
Changing the colors of the departments. Yeah. Well, I'm glad someone agrees with me.
Yeah.
Josh does too, but he feels like there's more than that, which I agree. It's not only that, it's just, but that is a big part of it.
It's got to be more complex than that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, let's get into what we've been watching.
Thanks for writing in again.
Oh, yes, thank you. And if you have feedback, email us at feedback@screentimepod or leave a comment on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What have you been watching? I don't have very much.
What is, I don't have very much. What are we looking at?
One movie and an Apple immersive thing.
Okay. All right. I have 3 things, so I guess I'll I have 2 movies and a show. So I guess I'll start with one of my movies. Actually, this will be very relevant because this is recent.
Okay.
Because I also have an old movie I rewatched, but I'll start with Anora. I finally watched, and this is, we did on Base for Waste.
Mm-hmm.
You guessed right, because it's just, a lot of people love this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it did very well, even in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I think. So I finally watched it. It's on VOD. It's not streaming anywhere yet, but you can rent it for $20 or whatever. So the director is Sean Baker, which I had never heard of him before, but what's cool is he directed, he wrote, and edited this movie, which is awesome. I won't spoil anything with this movie, but what I want to say about it that I really liked is it's really great overall, but really interesting and very unpredictable what happens. And I think that's why people like it, because in general, I will only talk about what the synopsis of the movie is, which it's about a stripper sex worker that meets a Russian guy, teenage guy, and then it goes from there. But even the description, it does say, like, you know, he's the son of, seems like someone pretty big and important in Russia, which you can imagine, like, oh, I see where this is going to go from there. But it is very good the way they execute it. And it's not what you think, because it's not what I thought was going to happen. But it was really entertaining, really great. Even the way the movie ended in a very, I don't know how to describe it, very very cool way that not a lot of movies end that way, but still felt satisfying. And yeah, so very unpredictable. I think that's why a lot of people like it, because you think it's going to go a certain way. But yeah, so check it out. I know you were you interested in this movie too?
I mean,
just because you've heard a lot of it.
Like, yeah, and I heard good things, so
yeah,
I thought, yeah, I may watch it at some point. But
yeah, it's really great. So check it out. I'm sure it'll be actually streaming on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who distributed this movie, but
don't know.
Yeah,
off the top of my head.
So,
so I watched a movie that is streaming on Netflix.
Okay.
Hot Frosty.
Oh, I have heard of this. How is this movie?
For the kind of movie it is, and it's pretty good.
Okay.
It's, you know, cute and funny and feel good type of Hallmark Christmas movie kind of thing.
Oh, I didn't realize it was a Hallmark.
It's
type
not,
of movie.
I mean, it's not an actual Hallmark movie because it's on Netflix. Yeah, it's like that
the
kind
type of movie.
Yeah. Yeah. But so it has. I should look this up beforehand. I'm trying to remember these guys' names, but yeah, it's like it's. I think it's like PG. It's not even. Yeah, so it's pretty.
It's very safe Hallmark.
Yeah.
Style.
Yeah.
Okay. But is it so? It's elevated because it's on Netflix and not actually a Hallmark movie.
I don't know
Makes
if
it
that's
better.
why it's elevated, but
Okay.
just as these kind of films go, it's not bad. But part of what I think makes it some of the comedic moments pretty good is the actors, and that's why I was like want to make sure I
Just
got the
people
name.
you recognized,
Well, so
or just people that were really great in it.
Joe Lo Truglio
Oh yeah.
and Craig Robinson
Oh,
play
nice.
the sheriff and deputy of the town, and they are both fantastic. And
Yeah, they
hilarious.
were in all like the Judd Apatow movies.
Yeah, also Craig Robinson was in The Office, and then
Yep.
and then Joe Tuguglio was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's what probably people know them more from.
Probably, yeah.
But they were fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah, and then yeah, it was like I said, not terrible. If you like
Okay.
those kind of movies, it's
All right. Why is it called Hot Frosty?
So the premise of the film is one of the snowman sculptures in the town square that comes to life, but it happens to be the one that someone sculpted more like Michelangelo, for lack of a better,
Okay.
like this guy that's like ripped, and so then he comes to life. He's this very attractive.
I see. Hot Frosty in that way. Okay.
Yes, but
All
he is also very naive and just really good person. So like he wins people over all the time by just being,
Okay.
really nice guy and like helping people out.
Okay.
And he has a superpower of like basically can learn anything he watches. So like he starts watching something on TV for reasons, and then he suddenly can bake whatever or something. He makes something. So then he's like doing all these things for different people in the neighborhood or in the town because he learns how to do them and he can help. So yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah. So what else are you watching?
I'll talk about my other movie because it'll be quick. Because I haven't watched too many like Christmas movies that I was thinking about watching this year, but I did watch, because I hadn't seen it in a while, It's a Wonderful Life.
Nice.
And this is currently on Amazon right now to watch. I think you can watch some other places too, but I mean, it's just, I mean, there's not really anything I can say about this movie, but it's just absolutely beautiful film still. And this is like a movie that came out in the 40s, I want to say, right? Yeah. I want to say that specifically is just, I get a lot more out of this movie every time I rewatch it, but especially the older I get too, which, I imagine some other movies are the same way. The older you get, you kind of appreciate it more or in a different way, or you have a different perspective on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just really great. It's like watching this time, like, man, I don't think there's any flaw at all in this movie. It is almost like a perfect movie. Also, I just want to mention, because it's maybe before I didn't think about it this deeply, but how many things it actually does tackle is insane. And I was thinking about it this time watching it. Tackles love, kindness, ambition, expectation, gratefulness, and gratitude is one of the biggest things
Right.
of the movie, for sure. But even integrity, family's a huge thing. Yeah. But like, I think more than most importantly, like overcoming obstacles and struggles. There's just so much that they pack into this hour and a half movie, maybe close to 2 hours. But I mean, it flies by. Like
Well, then also
just so
the impact one person can have on
yes,
everyone obviously is a big part too.
that is a big part. Yeah, but and that's what I mean. Going into like what you do, or just even a little
kindness,
or just a little thing that you do, how much that could potentially impact, like you said, a whole town or just a lot of different people in a specific way. And yeah, it's just amazing. And I just hadn't seen it in a while, so just want to shout it out. Still is just as great, if not even better. But like I said, I'm older now. Maybe I appreciate it more now. But yeah, have you watched it recently?
Yeah, not this year.
Do you normally do it every year?
A lot of years. It was one of Erin's favorites.
Right, I knew that.
So she always wanted to watch it every year. So I think while we were married, she was still alive.
Yeah,
we watched it probably every year.
Yeah.
Since then, I don't know if I watched it every year, but we watch it most years. We didn't watch it this year, but like I think we watched it last year. But.
Okay, cool. One of the best.
Yeah. So surprise to me was not unexpected. Another Apple immersive thing got delivered like literally a week after the last one. So
cool.
So the last one was just diving with sharks, right?
Well, it was like did you say tiger sharks or something?
Yeah,
that's sick.
So this one is under the adventure category, which would be with what was the original episode. First episode was with the Highline Walker.
Oh yeah,
I remember. The second one was the parkour in Paris. And this is the third one. And this one is ice diving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was wild. And this guy was going for breaking the record of how far someone swam under the water, under 2 feet of ice in a lake or whatever. Yeah, and it was very cool. You definitely get some of that claustrophobic feeling when the camera's under there with him. And yeah, it was really done well. Really, really good.
I don't think there's really anything with the Apple immersive stuff that hasn't been done well. It's like almost everything is like there's
there's some that are stronger than others, I think.
Sure.
Because thinking of it, the parkour one, again, not bad, but I feel like that would be the weakest one of the three in the adventure series.
Okay.
There's something about there's a couple moments that are cool, but then there's so much stuff where they're just just jumping on smaller things or running around and stuff, and you're like, it's still cool because you're like in Paris.
Yes, that's always cool.
Yeah. All right, so you said you had one other thing. You had three.
Yeah. So that's it of your.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My last one is a TV show that came out a few years ago that I wanted to revisit. It's on Hulu. It's called Fleischman is in Trouble. It's a miniseries. Did you ever watch this?
Yes, I did watch this. Yeah.
I watched it too when it first came out. I think it was in 2022. I think it was 2 years ago.
I remember it being good.
It's really good. Yeah. And I haven't watched it since it first came out. I wanted to revisit it. Mainly because of the cast and the way their interactions is just so great. But yeah, Jesse Eisenberg, Claire Danes, Lizzie Kaplan. Always love Lizzie Kaplan. And Adam Brody, which he's got a little bit of a renaissance now because of the Netflix show, which I didn't put on my list, but I am going to go through that just because it's such a phenomenon that nobody wants to show. I will watch that. I watched a little bit of it. But the other person I forgot that was in it is Lizzie Kaplan's husband in the show is Josh Radnor, which is the main guy from How I Met Your Mother. I forgot about him, but he's also in
I did forget that he was in it.
Yeah, so it's just and everyone's interaction together is great. But what the main thing I wanted to mention, like rewatching it this time, is it's very good at portraying real life in a very authentic way, which I feel like some shows that do this doesn't feel as much like that. Like this feels very real. And because everyone in the show is at very different points in their life, doing very different things. And of course they all kind of come together and they're like old friends that like come back together. And all their dynamics are really great. But each different person, what they're doing individually and when they come together, just everything about the show just feels very authentic, I think.
Yeah.
And so you do remember liking it?
Yeah, I remember liking it. I remember
It's really
those
good.
points that you're talking about. Like, it feels the dynamic and all that cast really does feel like they're old friends.
It does.
They've known each other
and
for a
they're
long
just
time.
having fun when they're together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, is it a book? I think it's based on a book.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I also remember there's some good, interesting cinematography in it too. I remember.
There is. Yeah. I didn't even have a note about that, but you're right. Like there's some, I think even when the show first starts, like seeing New York and the city, and they do like a complete 360 rotation or something when they're like kind of with the establishing shot. It is interesting. Yeah. I didn't look into who did it, but the cinematographer, but yeah, it is interesting. So yeah, just wanted to shout that out. Check it out. It's good. It's only a 7 or 8 episode miniseries.
Cool. Little news section maybe.
Okay.
Didn't prep you on this, but
all right.
Maybe did you watch White Lotus season 3 trailer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
So I just want to shout out that coming mid-February.
So you will watch that trailer, but you won't watch other trailers.
Well, that trailer, just the first one. Just to kind of be like, okay, but if they release more stuff, I probably won't watch it because also it's not that far away. Like it'll be out in like, if you haven't watched White Lotus, definitely catch up. Watch season 1 and 2, fantastic. And it looks like season 3 is going to be good. Get some.
Yeah, I'm confident. I mean, both season 1 and 2 were great.
Yeah,
and just how good season 2 was. Which I feel like that was really hard to do.
That's the opportunity to mess up. Yeah, you're like, okay, could you pull this off again? And I think they did.
They did. Yeah.
And so now I'm sure they'll pull it off a third time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they always do really well with the casting.
Yeah, because it's an anthology kind of setup.
Yep. But just like a mini series, like what I was just talking about. It's like you can get more people to commit to it because it's like, and White Lotus is normally only like 6-7 episodes, a little bit shorter, I think. One of the seasons was shorter. I don't remember which one.
I think it was longer than that, but yeah. Not 10, though. It's not probably 10. Like
no,
8.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more like 8.
I don't know how many this new season's going to be, but yeah, looks great.
And then Superman trailer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what do you think of this?
I think it looks fantastic.
It does look good.
I mean, so I feel like... James Gunn. I don't know that James Gunn's made something I don't like. I think he, of course, I don't know if I've seen everything he's done, but I think he's a great character writer. Probably a better writer than he is director in a sense, probably. But like, I think, but I was interested to see so excited for him to tackle something else, right? Like this. And then the casting for Superman, I had the right look. Not as familiar with that guy, but I can't remember his name all the time. But then Rachel Brosnahan, like I thought she'd be a fantastic Lois. And and then what's his name is Lex Luthor. Drawing a blank his name. Nicholas Hoult. Thought that'd be good.
Yeah, looks good too.
Yeah, but then seeing the trailer and seeing almost like, because what he has excelled at in the past, James Gunn, is these ensemble casts.
Yeah, and bringing obscure characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see him do that more, looks like, on the villain side. Instead of, like, because previously, like, as an example, most people are probably familiar with Guardians of the Galaxy, who James Gunn wrote and directed all 3 of those films. And he does, the Guardians are the ensemble cast, right? You kind of have this, and then you have the bad guys, the kind of the one-off person. And he's like almost flipping that dynamic, is my guess from the trailer, where he's taking the lead, Superman, and him being against a whole ensemble cast of evil characters.
Don't forget Peacemaker also, because that was so great. And James Gunn did that.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, an ensemble cast. But again, their main characters are the ensemble, right?
Yeah.
Just like in Guardians. This is kind of theoretically flipping that. I assume the bad guys aren't going to be the main characters.
No, you're right though. It is, I think, the opposite of dynamic then seems like he's going for.
And then the tone is perfect. It's good to get away from like dark and broody Superman that never was right and never was right.
You never liked Man of Steel?
Nah. The first time I saw Man of Steel in the theater, and I was like, I thought Henry Cavill did a great job as Superman.
Yeah, he was perfect casting.
Cast wise, and I wish with a different director and story. But tonally, I remember walking out of the movie, I was like, that was so wrong. That is not Superman. And I haven't changed my thought on that at all.
The music in that movie, though,
it's great. I listened to the Hans Zimmer score for that. You know, it's up there with
that Superman thing, which they borrow on with in this trailer.
Which is also theme. Right, but it's all borrowed from
the original,
what John Williams did for the Christopher Reeves films, which is what also.
I just love what Hans Zimmer did with that specifically for the movie.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was what I was going to, the other note I was going to bring up, but you brought it up, like the little bit of that in this trailer really, I was like, it sounded good too. So
it's more James Gunn influence because it's like 80s sounding electric guitar version of it, which, I mean, he loves that stuff. So makes sense for, and he probably made that choice.
And then we get the dog.
Yeah, I love the cryptos in it. Yeah.
So I was
already like, because that's so hard to do. And he does well with animal. I mean, what he did with Eagly. No, I would say even more recently, Eagly.
Oh, okay.
And Peacemaker was so great. But Rocket
Raccoon and Groot. I mean, he can. So
I have confidence that he's going to do crypto the right way. Crypto the dog.
So anyway, all that to be said, I was excited just going into this, not even seeing the trailer, just for like the people involved and stuff. And I was like, this is this. And then seeing the trailer really got me even more excited for it. So
it's time for Based or Waste.
It's time for Based or Waste. It's the mirror.
We'll leave that in.
You're gonna leave that in?
Yeah. I like that voice, whatever voice you just did. That was good. It's the AI voice, but not the AI voice. Yeah. All right. Welcome back to Based or Waste. We are back to TV shows today. Ooh. Josh's specialty, hopefully.
That's right. Tend to do better on this.
Yeah. This is the show based on the Rotten Tomatoes audience score for a show or movie. And Josh is going to guess. We're going to have 10 of them, like normal, and Josh is going to guess if the show is good or bad, based or waste, depending on the audience score.
And the rating is, the audience score is 0 to 100.
0 to 100, yes.
And somewhere, it varies, but somewhere between 50 and 60 is where the line goes up or down.
Yeah, it varies, apparently, it seems. Not really sure why. I think it has to do with how many people rate it overall for the audience. But anyway, are you ready, Josh?
I am ready.
Okay. I think we have 10 new ones. I don't think there might be one in here that maybe we did before, but overall, I think we're good.
Okay.
All right. Play along at home too. First one, Secret Level.
Oh,
this is the video game.
Yeah, have you watched that? Because you haven't talked about it.
Yeah, I talked about it.
Last week.
Last week or probably last week.
This is on my list to watch, but I haven't watched it yet.
I only watched the first episode.
Okay,
but yeah, they're very short, like 10, 15 minutes long each. Yeah, the first one was D&D. That's what I watched.
I'm going to say based.
Yep.
All right.
80. Nice. We have the whiteboard for audio listeners, and Josh is in charge of this because I was too OCD about it. And
he was trying to make it too small.
It was
too small. You were going crooked.
Yeah. It's not great.
Yeah.
All right. Next. This is an interesting one I have not checked out yet. I was playing on it, but Dexter Original Sin.
Oh.
This is a prequel to Dexter. Tricky.
Mm-hmm. I haven't heard anything about this either.
Me neither. And I have not watched it yet.
It might be a bad sign. I'm gonna say waste.
Incorrect. I know. I thought it was gonna be. I'm like, this is not a good idea. Like, and I don't know. We'll see. But overall, the audience It is based. It is a 90. It's pretty high.
Geez.
I'm sure it'll go down. This is like just came out.
Okay.
I think like a week ago. So, okay. This next one, I'm interested if you actually have heard of this or not. This is another very new Amazon show, The Sticky. Have you heard of this?
I don't think so.
It's about like Canadian, has to do with maple syrup, but it's like a heist or something. I don't know much about it. It's very, very weird premise.
I'm just gonna say based.
Yes.
All right.
Yep. 67. I'm surprised you haven't heard of this.
Somehow it slipped through the cracks. I guess on my.
I haven't watched it, but
sounds fascinating.
it's very original. Yeah. I think it's like a Fargo thing where it's like an event that happened. I don't know. All right, this is the one I'm not sure if we did yet. I know we covered Silo season 1, but this is Silo season 2. Where do you think it's at now? We're like halfway through it now.
I'm gonna say based.
Yes. Seems close to the line. It's at a 60.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, still based. All right, where are we at?
I figured it has to be doing half decent if it they renewed it for season 3 or 4 to get to the end of the story.
But you never know with Apple because sometimes they will just, which I appreciate, sometimes they'll let the story finish even if it's not doing well just because they have the money and can do it. But yeah, I hope
probably the motivation's a little bit more like they like working with the creative and the team and they want to keep them happy. And so they're like, hey, if we pay to finish this, then your next project, you'll work with us too. That's probably more of the motivation.
Okay.
I'm just thinking as a business, from a business standpoint.
Yeah.
And that show, regardless of how you feel about the show, is fantastic from a production standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
And so
it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is, I'm not sure what this one is. I put it down because at least I've heard of it. Because I'd always try to pick ones that at least you or I or both of us are familiar with.
Right.
Earth Abides. I think this is a new show on MGM, which no one has. But it's the network that from the show with like the Lost creators. That is pretty big now. That's like MGM's biggest show right now. This is a new show on there called Earth Abides. Looks like Walking Dead to me.
I'm going to say waste.
Yeah, you're right. 57, waste. Okay. Halfway through now.
Missed one.
Yeah, you're doing all right. We'll see. See if you keep it up. This next one, this is one up your alley. That's why I'm wondering if you watched this yet. Based on a True Story, season 2. This just came out. Do you remember what this is?
No.
This is a Josh show for sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's got the girl from Big Bang in it.
From Big Bang.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what show you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, I did not watch season 1.
Okay, it seems like a Josh show though.
I thought about checking it out, but I did not watch season 1.
Season 2 just came out.
Okay,
so
this is season 2 that we're talking about.
Yes.
I'm gonna say waste.
No, it is based.
Oh man,
71. Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't watched that one yet.
Can't watch everything.
No. Also, I think that's Peacock, and that's a Peacock sometimes a blind spot for you.
Yeah.
So
that is true.
Yeah. All right. This next one is, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's very popular right now. Like Water for Chocolate. It's like a very romance show.
I'm going to say
very
based.
popular. Yeah. This is a 96. This is like very high. Yeah, it's just trending right now. It's very I think it's probably Netflix, if I had to guess. It's probably where it is. All right. We have 3 more. Rogue Heroes season 1. Have you heard of this?
No. What is this?
It's it kind of not a parody, but it's about like soldiers in World War II. Well, like a specific group of soldiers. The creator of Peaky Blinders is involved with it, I think, but it's like it has like comedic elements in it too, though. So nothing like Peaky Blinders, but I think the creator's involved in it somehow. That's how I know about it, but I have not checked it out. And there's a new season of it coming out soon.
Well, then I'm gonna say based.
Yep. 87. Seems pretty good. All right.
What's where it's streaming or what it's at?
That one. That's a good question. It's definitely not just like it's not only on like BritBox or one of those, British. It's definitely on one of the big ones streaming, but I don't know. This next one was very close to my heart, and we'll see, because I haven't asked Josh in a while. We'll see if he's watched it yet. Ripley, season 1.
I have not watched it still. But yes, I'm going to have to say based.
Yeah. 83. One day, we'll see if Josh watches this.
Maybe I can, before our special episode of...
You should, because, spoiler alert, it might be in my top 10.
Okay.
It might be.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, and
we're doing that. Recording
right around the first of the year, we'll
Yep.
drop our special episode where we recap our top 10 episodes.
TV shows of the year. Yeah. Yeah, the story's great too, because it's the talented Mr. Ripley. But cinematography alone is, I can't believe you haven't watched it just for that, or even seen any behind the scenes stuff about it, or this is like right in your world.
Okay. Stop shaming me.
Yeah, I know. All right, last one. I'm blanking on what this is now. I put it here for a reason. Maybe you'll know what this is. No Good Deed.
Oh, yeah.
Season 1. Oh, this is a Netflix thing that just came out, right?
Yes.
Have you checked it out?
I've not watched it, but it's on my list to check out.
Okay.
I'm going to say based.
Yep. 76. This is, I vaguely remember this now. It's got like a lot of pretty big actors in it, right?
Yeah, I think Lisa Kudrow is in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Was one of the leads. Yeah.
Okay. This also, I think I put it because it seems like a Josh show.
Man, getting typecasted here.
I know. No, I was going to check it out too. I just haven't yet. But it's probably in the Netflix top 10, I imagine.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't turned on Netflix in a bit.
All right. Well, let's see. You got an 8.
Yeah. Not too bad.
Not bad. Yeah.
All right.
Not perfect either, though.
No, it's not.
But all right. That has been Based or Waste. Good job, Josh. Tune in next week. Probably be back to movies.
All right. So let's get into Severance. Season 1, episode 6, Hide and Seek. The team angers Cobell by forming an alliance.
Yeah.
All right. So thoughts on this episode? Quick thoughts.
I'm interested in what you think, because last week you mentioned that was the first episode that felt like a little bit of a dip. And I'm curious what you thought of this one, because I'm going to say the same thing. So you go ahead.
Well, I think this one definitely was back at the momentum of that we kind of left off of with episode 4. No, this was a really good episode, I think.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so we open with a very creepy shrine religious thing with Mrs. Selvig in her basement.
Yeah, she has a whole shrine of Kier.
And a bed down there.
Yeah, that looks like, it looks old timey, or like like she's in like a hospital room.
Yeah, because when you're like, where the heck is she? And then
it's in her house though.
And it's in her house in the basement.
Yeah.
So
even the way she's dressed too, like it's very, she has like a gown on, her hair. Yeah, it seems like she's like fully immersed in like, or in like this, maybe an old
role play or something.
Yeah, of a moment of Keir in the past. Because it's Ryan showing, even like some of the things you see look very much like whenever they said the year that their company started. It looks like from that era. It was like late 1800s, right?
Yeah.
So very interesting.
Yeah, and then we get after the music, we get Mark getting the phone, Petey's phone, and ditching it into the trash can, taking the battery out of it, ditching it into the trash can. He takes it with him. He goes to leave, and he backs up, and yeah. So he's just done with this whole mess
for now.
All right, then we move to seeing Bert and Irving in a room of a bunch of plants.
Yeah.
Also another random weird room.
This is my next note, though. I just love the way this room looks, though. It's just really great.
Yeah.
All the greenery, and even though it's like, because the contrast of that with like a very sterile white, like corporate room, but all this greenery and the way it's shot too is just really cool. And the angle,
especially
it's kind of through the plants. Yeah.
Yeah. They dirty the frame with the plants.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. No,
it's awesome.
Yep. So then, it was good interaction with those two guys, and they're romantic. It's so funny. He's like, well, it says no romantic relationship, so this just has to be not romantic.
Yeah, they're finding the loophole with in the corporate system. Yeah, the handbook. Yeah.
Then we get the weird scene with the rich lady that was at the birthing center.
Yeah,
they were like Mark's sister,
Devin. Meets previously
at the birthing cabins,
and now sees her again
at a park or something random, and she's there with her husband and other two kids. But the weirdest thing was the name changed of the baby.
Oh, the baby did it?
Yeah, she says, is that like the name that the lady had told her what she was going to name the kid, and then she's like, oh no, it's
William, I think now.
No, that's what I think she said.
Or is that what it was originally?
She's like, oh, is that William?
Oh.
And yeah. So, and of course she's just...
But she doesn't recognize Devin like they met before.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And also that her husband is a congressman.
Well, we found that out later when she's...
Like, a little bit later,
when she's
also,
like digging into him.
Yeah. But they are also just both really weird to her.
But he was more like overly friendly weird.
Yeah.
But then he ends up she's looking into it, and he's a congressman that was pro severance procedure. Yeah. Then we get a scene with Mark getting enough balls to be like, so what is it we actually do here?
Yeah.
And Mrs. Selvig or Mrs. Coble in the inside, she just
yells at him.
She just gets mad, yells at him, and quotes a bunch of Keir.
That's all you need to know.
Cult.
Yeah.
Mumbo jumbo.
Oh yeah.
But that was pretty funny.
So around this time, I think we get another Rickon segment of the book. This one though, I think is that Mark's reading. But this one though, I think is like really good and not as just like pretentious and crazy as some of the other stuff in the book. But this is Rickon's passage about camaraderie. That I was like, oh, this is actually good.
But also funny.
It's funny, but it's like it's got some good points in there. And it plays into the episode for sure. But It's pretty thought provoking. So, unlike a lot of the other things that he writes in the book that are just pretentious and ridiculous, but he talks about the word camaraderie deriving from the word camera, and how it's about coming together as a group to overcome obstacles together, which is a great foreshadowing.
Yep.
For this show.
Episode.
Yeah. So, thought that was like, oh, good on Rickon for writing something actually useful and interesting to think about.
Yeah. And then we get them heading through the halls to O&D, and then we get some very different, intense music that I don't think we've heard before. Didn't know if you caught that.
No, which segment of it, or what scene?
When they're all like heading to O&D. Because then,
I'm trying to remember what the music was. Because I mean, I love all the music in this show.
Because then when they show up, so then the whole group from Data Refinement.
Oh, I do know what you're talking about.
Shows up then, and then so my next note is Mark steps up as a leader and gives a great speech.
He does.
Yeah, and because even Dylan's like, oh, look at you.
He's like, that was poetic as crap, man. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, good.
Well, that was the. We see a little bit more, and I'm kind of wondering, like, what does optics and design ultimately do? And definitely from what you see, like, it looks like they're 3D printing stuff.
Yeah, like these.
But we don't know exactly.
Cans, but
right?
then the lady was
yeah,
like, "What'd she say?" But there's some kind of.
She mentioned hatchets.
Hatchets.
That.
Yeah. She's like, "Oh, there was hatchets."
And the other person's like, "Shh, keep it down."
Yeah. And then there was see that Milchek shows up, and obviously he's not happy that they're all over there.
Yeah.
And then before he can, Dylan swipes like the little card. Which you like.
Pockets, yeah.
Yeah. Which you're like,
why does that matter?
Well, you see him and you're like, what are these things? Mm-hmm. He puts it in his pocket.
Right? It's a very big deal. But you talk about the laminated thing. Mm-hmm. From what you could see of it, like, it looks like instructions that would be like on a plane or something.
Yeah, yes,
you know what I mean?
The design
that's
of them.
all it is. Like,
yeah, and it looks like maybe some self-defense or something.
Yeah, there is that too. Yeah, self-defense. Yeah. So I wanted to go back because there's a segment before they go to O&D. I have two notes about, and it's when this is the first episode we really see Mark and Helly's interaction, and they're like actually really flirting with each other.
Okay, yeah.
So we see a little bit of that. But then I also love Dylan talking about the will they, won't they energy between him and Miss Casey.
Yes.
But then the big point after that he talks about is mentioning that maybe love transcends severance. But then he disregards it right after that. But I think that's a great question to consider, especially talking about,
because she's like, do you really believe that? He's like, no.
Yeah, he disregards it right away. But then he's like, yeah, he mentions something about, he's like, well, maybe love transcends severance. But like, seems like from what we've seen so far with Irving, with sleep, that seems like, because we see this black goo and it seems to be getting worse, it's like that's somehow complicating, or something is seeping into his consciousness as well. So I think it's good. It's a good scene with Dylan, even though it's just funny, and his interactions talking about Miss Casey and how much he's like into her. But then I like they do this a lot in this show, where they will make a point like that, bring up like something that's really important, but then disregard it right away, like he does. But then something that you're like,
all with like comedic.
Yes, it's great, but it's like also like, I think it's a very good question to ask, though.
The kind of questions that you asked, like we talked about when they were asking, there was like the joke about the what the data refinement is and what he believed it was.
Oh, his theory on it.
And then what Irving thinks it is.
Yeah, cutting swear words out of movies. Yeah, yeah, it's so good. Yeah,
but
it's kind of like it's nodding to the audience, but also just really smartly written, to where it's like, we know you're thinking of these things anyways, We're going to throw in our own ones, whether there could be some truth to it, but it's also just funny.
Yeah.
It's just really smartly done, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So then Milchek takes him back to their space. And when he brings them back, Cobell's there and she greets them with an anthem, a song to Kier.
Yeah. Which is great. I want to mention because we've heard this before, the actual song of this technically, like in the score, has played before. I think at the beginning of the episode when she's praying over the shrine or whatever she's doing. But this music section's great. But yeah, of course she's just singing it a cappella, but it's coming in and with the score in the background a little bit too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just a lot in this episode showing how devoted she is.
Mm-hmm.
And like in a very old school way too.
Then we get Mark taken to the break room and he passes Miss Casey.
Yeah, this was really cool. This is my next note. Like them squeezing by each other. Mm-hmm. It's just really cool how they shoot this scene.
Yeah.
And just because it's such a narrow, and you can really feel it. Yeah. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And then like the shot where then the match cut, like his hand, and then his hand's like injured, and he's on the date.
Then he's on a date.
Yeah. So he's now the outie, but.
Mm-hmm. I am very surprised that Alexa is her name. Surprised she
went on date.
Gave him a second chance.
You figure at this point it's been months.
Yeah, I guess it's been a while. Yeah,
because the baby definitely is a little bit older.
That's true.
Like it's not just like it's been a couple weeks since the birth, if not a month or two. And of course he was dating her even before the baby, a while before the baby was born. So there's some time there.
Yeah, and this date is way more successul than the previous one.
Yeah. So while they're on the date, we kind of jump around. So then we, after we see that the date's going well, then we get the scene where his sister's looking up the senator.
Yeah.
But then she hides it from Rickon real quick when he comes in.
Yeah,
and then he's like,
don't know
why.
It's
because the lactation consultant's there has shown up.
Oh, that's right.
And lo and behold, who is the lactation consultant? Mrs. Selvig.
Yeah.
Creepy? Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get probably the coolest scene in this episode. We get Dylan in the closet.
Oh, yeah. This is the coolest and the hugest thing in that. So that's kind of the last bit. So before that, I just want to mention
That's not the last bit.
No? Did they show the concert later?
After this, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, never mind then. We can go ahead and talk about this.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just so Milchek is in a walk-in closet and he's talking.
Well, the way the scene starts is just this kid watching TV. The way they even introduce the scene is crazy and just like out of nowhere.
You're like, where's this kid? Who's this kid? And he's counting.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Milchek talking to Dylan, and he's like, "Where'd you put it?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you hide it?" And he's like, "What?" And he's like, "Is this my house?" Like he's like, him.
Yep. This is just a huge revelation that.
So he's like worried he snuck it out of the place.
Yep.
So what the significance of these laminated cards are?
Very significant, apparently.
Yeah. That he took it at all was enough for them to break protocol almost and wake him up outside of the building.
Waking up
which is then the big revelation is the viewer
they can do
that's even possible.
Yes.
So in reality, if you take a step back, a bigger picture, and you're like, Oh, why would that? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's somehow can be triggered remotely. Like they're just
especially because they want to be able to control these people.
It's a frequency, and it's probably like some kind of frequency thing that they do or signal they can send to it. So why? I mean, yeah, it's built into the elevator as they go up and down, but why couldn't you also do it elsewhere? At least within range, probably of some device. Like I'm sure they can't do it across the world unless there's a device.
Well,
unless
but we don't know.
Connected to the internet of some kind. And
yeah, I mean, we don't know how far away Dylan lives
from the office. Yeah, but I think it's kind of implied that the town is kind of owned by Lumen, like the town that they all live in.
Because then even when he's done, it's just a walkie-talkie he's using to be like, all right, turn it off. You know, like Milchek does. It is crazy because immediately Dylan's like, whoa, is this my home? Is this my closet? And then the big thing that messes him up immediately is
the kid comes running in.
And Milchek's like really cold and like kind of messed up to this kid.
Oh yeah,
he's very mean to this kid and just like, I told you to count to 1,000. Very different than the way he's been acting to the Severance employees when they're at work, because they are like children.
Got that weird smile on his face.
Yeah,
and this time he did not.
And the kid hugs Dylan while he's still in any form. And then I think that's when he's like, all right, shut it
off.
Yeah, shut it off. Yeah. And again, we see which we already talked about. How, it's so cool how they changed the visually to indicate the switch. It's just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's so the important thing is he switches them off even when he has the kid, so that even when he becomes, but then, you know, so he, as the Annie, he sees the kid. But then it's funny because so he obviously came in and talked to him, because then once he switches back, he's like, okay, are we done here?
Yeah, then it's normal.
Yeah, he's normal. And like he had no idea anything crazy happened, but then it means Milchek must have came in and said, hey, I need to do something.
Yeah. And he was just like, all right, cool.
Yeah, because he works for Severance. Yeah. And because the Audi has no idea anything's going on inside.
My other thing is just rewatching it this time, I forgot that this big of a reveal is this early on.
Right, in episode 6.
Yeah, I mean, we still have 3 more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, because this is huge.
It's a huge revelation for the viewer, yes. Yes. All right. So then we get the scene where Mark and Alexa go to the punk concert because he sees that Petey's daughter is in the band. And this was funny, awkward, and also neat to see, because then obviously the song is like Down with Lumen, Lumen sucks, whatever.
Yeah, it's a very, very punk song.
He starts chanting with the whole crowd.
Yeah, F you, Lumen, and I like all that. Just the song itself sucks. Especially the vocalist is awful, but I like this scene a lot. That's just me personally. I just don't.
Sound like a traditionally classic punk song to me.
No. I like punk music. But
I do too. Yeah.
But no, it is a very anti-system. Yeah. You know.
Yes.
Traditional punk song, or
and you could definitely
call it. Anarchist.
Yeah. And you could definitely see her going down this path as well.
Oh yeah, she's angry and
needs
screaming it while she's playing it. Yeah.
But it was a fun scene.
It is interesting that the main lyric I heard this time that I don't know if I heard before was the vocalist says like, F you, Lumen, you took my first love, which I was like, that's interesting. We don't know what context it is, but just something I noticed this time around. Like, I mean, that could just be referring to a parent, or you know, we don't know.
So then we get a brief interaction with Doug showing up at Mrs. Selvig's house. He's
Grainer.
Mm-hmm. What is that? What is it?
Grainer. Right?
Yeah.
Shows up?
Yeah. Is it Doug Grainer?
Oh, I guess it is. I used to always call him Grainer, but yeah, I guess you're right. It is Doug Grainer.
Yeah.
I forgot that was his first name.
But it's so funny because he's like so interested in why she's dressed as a lactation nurse.
Sometimes the way he looks at her, it's like,
Yeah.
it seems like he's into her.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, those workplace romances, will they, won't they?
Yeah. Yep. Dylan and Miss Casey.
All right, and then Mark gets lucky with Alexa.
Yeah, date goes very well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and so we see him waking up with her in bed with him, and
this is when he changes his mind.
Yeah, he changes his mind and goes out and digs up the phone,
Which makes sense, like after
Mhm.
seeing Petey's daughter again.
Yep.
Hearing all that, and he's just like, okay. It's on his mind, obviously, like he's laying in bed.
Yeah, well, they even do a flash of him thinking about.
That's
him,
right. Yeah,
like real quick of Petey dying.
Yep.
Yeah, and then as soon as he plugs it in, it rings. So he plugs the battery in or puts it in, and he answers. And so he decides to meet this lady, and it's on the college campus where he used to teach.
Yeah.
And just as they meet, someone's following him. Yeah, just as they meet, like we cut to black.
Yeah, that's
like she says one word to him or something. But
yeah. Oh, the other thing, because we talk about this every episode, they do such a good job with like cutting to different things happening always at the end of every episode. And at the same time, they're installing an extra layer of security to microdata refinement.
Yep.
Like, we see that
like the security doors, so they can wall them into the.
Yeah, they don't want them
wandering
because they're wandering out too much. Yeah. Yep. Do you know? I'm wondering at this point. Do you know who's following them?
I don't remember.
Okay. All right.
And then the last note I was going to say is, did you see they released first 8 minutes of episode 1 of season 2 as a preview?
What?
On Apple TV Plus.
What?
I've not watched it because I don't want to watch it.
I'm going to have to immediately watch it.
I didn't know if you saw it.
No, I didn't know about that. When did they do this?
Like literally yesterday.
Man, I'm going to have to watch it because it's waiting till like mid-January even is just like, especially because it's been actually 3 years since the show's been on. But that's a great idea that they did that.
Yeah. Just a little teaser.
Especially around Christmas time.
Get some stuff for people to talk about during the holidays.
Yeah.
Things that really matter, like Severance theories.
That does really matter. It matters to me a lot.
All right. Well, what do you guys think? What are the theories you have? Did you like this episode? And did you watch the 8-minute teaser for season 2?
Yeah. It's the first thing I'm going to do when I get home.
Get home after this. So let us know what you think. Send us your feedback at feedback@screentimepod.com. Also, leave a comment on YouTube or other platforms. Please follow and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. And if you like, you can follow us on Instagram. I'm at JYoungBar.
And I'm at Jared Youngbar.
All right. We appreciate you, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.